All right. What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome to the Beauty and the Beast podcast with Julian Marquez and your host, Kendra Lust. Man, I want to talk to you guys. This weekend's been a crazy weekend, and I've been just putting money down left and right on football, college football, NFL. Against the World Series, man, Tampa Bay came through last night. No one saw that. That were a plus 140. I'm winning money left and right. And honestly, I just want you all to know, like, the best website that you can get onto is mybookie.ag. The first deposit you do, they will match dollar for dollar up to $1,000. You just got to go with it. I'm telling you, you want to make some money, make some side cash, have some fun, bet on your favorite fighters, your favorite football players, teams, basketball, doesn't matter what it is. As long as you're putting money down on mybookie.ag, they will support and give back to you. Just remember, whenever you put that first deposit, use Beauty and Beast for the promo code. It is BEAUTYANDBEAST for the promo code, and that will give you dollar for dollar match on your first deposit as well. Just want you guys to know we're doing a live podcast. And if you make that first deposit, you could put $5 down if you don't even want to do it, but you will be on our live podcast talking to Kendra and I, being interviewed by us or interviewing us, whatever you want to know, whatever you want to say. You're going to be on it with us. You're going to enjoy the night, enjoy the time. This is the real thing. How bad do you want to be a part of the Beauty and the Beast podcast? Just put a little bit of money down on mybookie.ag. Kendra, tell me what's going on, girl.
Well, I had a fantastic weekend. I had a birthday celebration and hung out with friends, which was great. Unfortunately, there was not a ton of places to go after. However, we did have like a late reservation and this amazing Italian restaurant locally. So they just kept bringing out, they had our whole menu, appetizers. It was not 7 course, but 5 course, drinks, cocktails. They kept the restaurant open, which was so awesome. And it's called La Colina, it's in Rochester. And the owners were great. We had a limo, so we were, kicking a couple cocktails,
Who
and
were
it
you
was pretty
with? I think
fun.
I saw on your Snapchat you were with, was it Lisa Daniels?
No, I get you all would wish, huh? Yeah, she's a beauty, but no. I was just with some friends, some of our good friends from back home, and yeah, Professor X and Jenna Quinn, Dr. Quinn. So yeah, they're awesome.
Oh, okay. So you guys went out there. I don't know why I thought, like, I saw a post of Lisa Daniels and you, or at least Daniels popped up on my Instagram, and I don't know why I thought that you were with her. I don't know if you did a flashback this past week, but I thought you guys were together.
Yeah, well, we can definitely arrange that. And I think that there's going to be well, there will be. I'm going to be heading to Florida soon, and we're going to set a few things up. So I have some things in store, but that's more OnlyFans stuff. Let's not talk about that right now.
Oh, let's do that. Check this out. Like, so this morning, it's Sunday, and as some of you guys know, we record a little bit beforehand, but I'm getting close to my fight. So I like to constantly put in like a little bit of work in the morning. And I'm staying with my brother right now. And in his basement, he has these Peloton bikes. Have you ever used a Peloton bike before?
I have not. However, I have heard that they are pretty incredible. Like you work your ass off and sweat and burn so many calories. Pretty intense. So
Oh, it's
about it.
absolutely, it's incredible. So this Peloton bike has a TV screen on it. I mean, they're like $2,600 from what I'm asking and looking up, but they have their own instructional classes on the screen. And you
Okay.
can choose, like, if you want pop music, if you want rap, you can pick your favorite artist, and they have all these different classes that are designed around that artist, as well as like they have different yoga stuff, different things, but it's just a bike ride. And they literally have the cadence, they have the resistance, they have like a meter so you can match that every time it goes up or goes down. And I did 30 minutes this morning. Wasn't hard, wasn't strenuous,
Okay.
but I was sweating my balls off. Like, it was ridiculous. I never went anything higher than like 110 on cadence, which
Okay.
that's how many times you're rolling your feet. You're going fast, how fast you're going, I should say.
Okay.
And then the resistance was at, the highest it was at 70, and I was at 90 seconds. 30 minutes of this, like, you're going up and down hills. This thing is amazing. I honestly believe that every family should have a Peloton bike at their house. You have your own little personalized coach on a screen in front of you.
So are you at all so they're live with you? It's not like a pre-recorded.
Well, it just depends. Some classes you can do live and some of them are already recorded. So like say today your class starts at 8, but you didn't get up till 9 because you had a fun night last night, but you still want to get your work in. You can go in, click that class and still follow along. And it's just a live coach. They'll still do the shout outs and all the things that they have with the 10,000 people that are on during that class. And you can go to it, or you can go on and get up at the time that class starts and do it. And you can have a live class setting if you'd like, but it is all like, it's all how you want it. If you want it pre-recorded, they have it. If you wanted to do a live class, just schedule it out. But man, it is amazing.
Okay. So I think with that, you have to be pretty self-motivated. Yeah.
Yeah, you definitely do for sure. But it's not hard.
Okay.
It's like one of those things you just get up, you go downstairs into your basement, get on it. And literally the people that are instructing in classes, these guys are professionals. This lady was making me motivated this morning. And I'm sitting here like,
oh, I'm sure she was, Julian. If I know you, you weren't with a male instructor.
oh no, it doesn't matter. The instructors will switch over, but she was playing the pop class. And you know what they played? In the middle of the class, they played Miley Cyrus, the cover of Blondie, Heart of Glass, the one I will be walking out with on my fight.
That was a sign that, that's good. It's good.
I believe it. I'm just telling you, but the Peloton bike is absolutely amazing. I want to get them as a sponsor. Like, honest to God, that thing is absolutely worth its penny. It's just, you have to get on the bike. That's the hardest thing. Once you're on the bike, I promise you that thing will take over. You can do a 20-minute class all the way up to, an hour long, maybe even longer.
Okay.
Or you can do like low impact and slower days. It's an amazing little cardio workout. But enough of the Peloton. I'm all geeked out. I'm like a salesman for the Peloton, and they don't even they're not giving me love. I'm just giving them love because I love it. I don't know why I love it. It's just amazing. But I burned 500 calories.
I was waiting for that. How many calories did you burn? Because it's all about the calories.
500 calories.
Good for you. That's awesome.
Yeah. So no, it was such a good one, and working out is crazy. But well, I'm talking about this weekend, man. There's so much going on. First and foremost, let's talk about this. 1 week from today, or last night, I guess, less than a week, we have your girl fighting boxing at TopRank, Mikayla Mayer. She's going against Bronica. Undefeated.
Yeah. That is going to be intense. I need to do a little bit of homework on her opponent. However, like I said with Ortega, you just don't bet against the people you like or you care about, or that you inspire you. So I'm taking Mikayla. I'm not even looking at the other girl. I will though. So I'm excited for her. She's a beast. I love her. She's an inspiration for so many young women and girls. And can't wait to see it.
Every time, like, her opponent has fought a lot of people. I mean, they're both undefeated. Mikayla Mayer has more knockouts than this girl, than Awa. Awa, goes to decision a lot of the times. I don't think she packs the power and the speed, and she's never fought anyone like Mikayla. But let's just talk about, man, I don't know what it is. If you look at Awa's weigh-in photos or anything like that, she's wearing some very subjective clothing. Yes. You're like, oh.
She has a nice rack.
Oh, yeah, she does.
I mean, just saying.
But I don't know, if we're going based upon looks, dude, I'm in love with Mikayla Mayer. I'm in love with her boxing style. I'm in love with her aggression. I'm in love with just her IQ and the fight game. And just, she's a cool looking chick, you see her on Instagram. She's just chilling, going to the beach and hanging out. She's not over the top. She's not trying to be like this super hot model that everyone thinks that you're going to wear Louis Vuitton or whatever, all these Gucci's and everything like that. She's just a regular, normal person that's kicking it with the homies. And man, I'm excited for her fight. Awa keeps saying that she's gonna leave Las Vegas with her title, but I don't think she's really ready for Mikayla. Mikayla is just too powerful, too quick, and just too intelligent and long too. She's
Yeah.
super long.
Well, yeah, I don't know what the reach comparison is, but it's
They're-
Mikayla. She's just all business. And, looking at this picture, yeah, she's got a nice rack, but she's looking more for the show. And I think, I'm looking at the post now, and Mikayla is just like all business. Like, let's do this. I'm going to celebrate after my win. So go, Mikayla. We will be rooting for you.
Yeah, it's on Halloween on Top Rank. So that's going to be a great one. We also had the UFC card that night as well. But let's stop for UFC card. Let's talk about how insane last night's Fight Island card 254 UFC was. Unreal.
Yes. I don't even know where we begin. So I'm going to let you, because I know there's some fights I didn't catch the prelims. However, you did. So tell me about what you saw.
Man, we're going to start off with the first fight that caught my eye, that made me just like, look, I think hands down, the best fight on the island, hands down, was last night. And it was Nathan Wood and Casey Kenny. These boys were just going at it, lightning fast, lightning quick. They were punching, they were showing resilience, they were showing want, they were showing that these guys belong here, and they're showing the true contenders as well. The style, the punches given, the punches taken, the movement, the cardio, man, it was insane to see this fight. This fight, literally, if you could give an award for the best fight on the island, that would be this fight. Dana and them gave them a $50,000
fight
bonus.
of the night, right? Wasn't it? Yep. Okay. I thought it was. And then the Khabib as well. So I did catch that. I caught his press conference after. So it was good.
Absolutely. And that's what we're talking about right now, is like that $50,000 bonus for both of those guys, absolutely deserving. If you need to watch a fight, get on ESPN Plus, watch the Nathan Wood and Casey Kenny. You got to watch that fight. Absolutely memorable, absolutely energetic, and just, boy, Casey Kenny is a problem at the 35-pound division. But we're going to move on to the longest fight. Let's get a little bit on the main card, the one that kind of like, everybody was waiting for it. It's been canceled multiple times. That Antigulov versus Ion Kutilaba. You caught that one, right?
I caught the end of it, the knockout.
You caught the end of it. I mean, that's pretty much all that was happening. Ion was trying to move into Antigulov, and it was just, he just couldn't get the range. He was trying to do the Tyson style, left, right, left, right, left, right, moving his head, but he just wasn't able to close the distance enough. And man, the combination that Antigulov hit him with, it was just perfect timing, perfect range, perfect snap. And just this time Ion's not playing possum. He isn't going to fake this one. He was out cold.
Because this was, they had fought before, correct? And then it was rescheduled. Is that okay?
Correct.
All right.
Yeah, they did that, and it was a great fight. But let's talk about this Khabib fight.
I'm just like sitting here waiting, because this morning I was watching video of him as a boy, and it was incredible, fighting bears, wrestling bears, and it was the cutest thing. Okay, but we'll get to that after. So the fight, oh my God. I guess I didn't really comprehend his greatness. I did not, until I actually saw him in action. And I cannot even begin to imagine how Justin felt. The pressure he puts on you is nonstop. He's like the bear. I mean, nonstop. Gaethje's cardio is usually a lot better. And he was just, I don't know if it was nerves, he was excited, but he looked winded. And it was just kind of like anxiety, like, what is he going to do? What's coming next? So I have chills. I was in tears. I loved it.
Yeah, it was insane to kind of see that. Like, look, when you look at the stylistic matchup, you look at Gaethje and you watch Gaethje's all of his fight, the guy does not back up. He does not go backwards one bit at all. And all of a sudden, he gets in the octagon with Khabib, and this guy's backing up nonstop. He's doing good. He's throwing those leg kicks. He's
Yes.
moving laterally. He's trying to stay off the cage. He's trying to force the open mat shot, exactly like I saw. But the one thing, or I thought, but the one thing that kind of came to mind was he was getting backed up. So to me, it just showed me like, oh man, the presence that Khabib has inside of the octagon is unreal. And I'm telling you this right now, to be able to push back somebody that's never been pushed back in a fight, never taken a step backwards in a fight, is absolutely, it just shows that aura, that feeling, whatever
Presence.
you're pushing out when you're in that octagon, you were threatening him, and he felt it in his primal state, in Gaethje's primal state. He was feeling something that, hey man, I cannot stand here with him. And Khabib was showing, he was throwing hands, throwing kicks. He
Yeah.
wasn't like, we saw something else. Like Khabib was able to get the takedown, but Khabib took some shots and he still threw some. And it is insane on how he was performing. And especially, I guess they said that he had a broken foot
Yes.
during the process. So he's fighting. This guy's on a different level. He in my book, he has to be the GOAT. And he goes in and he finishes Gaethje, right? In the second round on a slick triangle choke. He started with a Ronda Rousey armbar, went backwards,
Yes.
threw up the triangle choke. He ended up submitting him. By the way, Gaethje tapped. I don't know
Yes.
what the ref was
Ref
doing.
didn't see it. He tapped, tap, tap. It's like, hello. And then my question to you, Julian, is if God forbid, like he broke his arm and the ref didn't see it, how do they handle that? I mean, because clearly something could have happened. I mean, luckily he just went to sleep. He said it was so cute in the post fight press. Gaethje was like, "Yeah, I just took a quick little nap," and he was just so comedic about it. I loved it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I don't know what would happen because it never went into that issue to where it did break, but the armbar was gone. It was just into the choke. And I think, in all honesty, that referee was doing exactly what I was doing, exactly what you were doing, exactly what millions of people across the world were doing. Were just in awe. Like, did this just happen? Did
Happened.
he
Yeah.
just get in a mounted S mount to an armbar or an arm lock to a triangle and
Triangle.
submit Gaethje in the second round? We're talking about Justin Gaethje having the best performance of his life. The day or the fight before against Tony Ferguson looked
Yeah.
phenomenal, looked like an evolution, and then getting submitted faster and losing faster than any other fight he's ever had. This is the fastest loss he had, and he was finished. There was no question about it. He had nothing. And it just shows you the level of just fight IQ and the level of goatness Khabib is.
I love your little level of goatness. Yeah. From what I understand, Habib's never been cut or knocked down. Unreal. And he's only lost one round in his entire fight history. Like one round.
They actually said there's a news report that came out today that said that Khabib, two of the judges gave Gaethje the first round.
Hmm. I don't know.
I
Doesn't
don't know.
matter. Doesn't matter. I
Yeah, it
mean,
doesn't matter. I mean, he might have lost that round, but regardless, it's not like it's this is now the discussion, man. Like, first and foremost, when he was crying on the ground and he won and he
oh,
fell to the ground, one, it
ridiculous.
gave me goosebumps, but it reminded me of when Jordan won the championship, and he was sitting there with his forehead on that. That's what it reminded me of. Like, we just have an iconic moment in history, and it will always be that moment that will forever stick with me.
I'm glad I didn't shave my legs because I do have chills again. Yes, I mean, I was bawling, and Professor X is looking at me like you're crying. And I'm like, I was just so touched. And because it was all that emotion coming out, and it just spoke volumes about the impact, the relationship, how important his father and family, and just from what I'm understanding, his word, he's a man of his word. I mean, his character, and it all came out. And he was that little boy, in my mind, like just that raw emotion. And I'm all getting teary-eyed. I would just have the utmost respect for him. And in my opinion, after doing more homework, because as I continue to do this and improve and become better and better, I learn more. And yeah, he is the GOAT. I'm sorry. And there was so many positive things that people were tweeting about. And there was one fighter who really kind of ticked me off. He was pretty negative in his tweet, and I'll just say his initials, JJ. And he was just kind of salty about the whole situation. And I thought that was classless, So I'll leave on a positive note. He is pound for pound the best fighter of all time.
Absolutely. Look, this is the thing, man. Like I saw when Khabib was removing his tape on his arm before he even started speaking, I looked at my brother. I was like, dude, he's going to retire.
Yes.
I was like, that's the retiring move. Like, he's not talking. And they're like, oh, take your time. He's trying to get it off. He's asking his coach. So I knew he was going to retire. And then that right there is first and foremost, like, that is awesome that he retired on top. He retired with that just spectacular performance. But in all honesty, in one of the toughest weight classes there are, he's finished all top people. Everyone that, like, all top people, he fought every single one of them, took them out, just dominated all of them. He is going to be the GOAT in my eyes. John Jones, I saw that he was saying, like, I've done this for X amount of years. I've fought everyone. For 10 years I've reigned. But no, look, you've had a lot of issues that happen, and I do respect your, spectacular fighting game. I expect your win. I respect you. Yeah. But in all honesty, Khabib won decisively. He's never had a fight where you sat back and were like, ooh, I honestly think X person won that. I honestly think that he's finishing top people. There's no one that comes close. Whereas when we saw John Jones versus Gustafsson, yes, it's one of the greatest fights ever. One of the greatest fights, top 5 for sure. He fought him, but we all sat there. 50% of humans were like, I think Gustafsson. Others were like, I think Jones. And it's just like, it's not that he's not one of the best, and he will be one of them.
He'll be in the Hall of Fame. However, Khabib is more, it's just undisputed. It's across the board. You can't argue it. It's just, nobody's thinking twice about it, and, speaking of some of John Jones's fight, the one with Dominic Reyes, I, in my opinion, thought Reyes had won that fight. That's just my opinion. And so we'll leave it at that. But with Khabib, I think the K is silent. So I hope I'm saying it right. It's undisputed.
Absolutely. And that's the thing, is that he in my eyes, and I don't care what anyone else's eyes are, my eyes, Khabib is the GOAT. You're going out there and you finish Justin Gaethje, you finished Dustin Poirier, you finished Conor McGregor, you finished every single person that comes in there.
Just saying, love Conor. Sorry.
But you finish every single person that comes in, and he's just undisputed. And there's never been an ounce of, to the point where you question his I don't want to say his like lifestyle. You question his, heritage. You question his like choices. Like, there's nothing negative that you really see Khabib doing inside or outside of, the UFC. Like, he is a humble man. He's a great man. Granted, like, a lot of people were talking very negative on how he made a bum do push-ups to give him money, and he was laughing, things like that. I don't necessarily.
I'm not a fan of that. Like, if that were to happen, but
I don't necessarily know, because at the end of the day, who gives a shit? Because he gave him money. Yeah, he made him laugh and stuff like that. But it's not like most of these other, people that are trying to get stardom, where they're walking around with cameras, going around giving homeless people food and money and showing it and using it as clout, things like that. They dug up that video. Someone dug up that video.
Yes. Yeah.
It wasn't like Khabib was putting it out there. It was that he did it. Yes, he did it. But in his look, it wasn't like he was trying to get fame. It wasn't trying to get clout. He wasn't trying to get notoriety. He did it and someone pulled it off of a cell phone. Whereas, like, let's talk about Chris Sideboard. She went to, when she was in California, she had like a news, not even a news reporting deal. She had some camera crew following her, and she went down to Skid Row and was handing out food to all these people like, oh, look at me, I'm using my money to give out, let me post this on Instagram. Like, fuck you. In all honesty, that's me. Fuck you for trying to use people with less fortunate, and you're trying to make yourself look better by giving it to them. Go hide your fucking self. Don't talk about what you do.
I agree and disagree. The reason I agree is because, they say when you're supposed to give, it's supposed to come from your heart and because you want to do it and it's authentic and that's the right thing to do. However, we live in a culture now where, let's be real. I don't want to talk politics, but we've got celebrities endorsing politicians, so people will follow suit. So I don't agree with, going around and boasting or, doing it for that reason, for your own notoriety. However, I do like the idea because I think it inspires others sometimes to do positive and good things. But I think it's not how, it's the way you do it, So I don't know. I don't know. I hope it's saying it the right way that, you're okay. These people are doing it and hopefully they hop on the positivity bandwagon. But again, you're not supposed to, I understand.
Look, this is the thing, is like, it's not like, fuck the social media, fuck everything else. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It literally, everything is fake on social media. That doesn't define who you are. Literally, I post photos where I blur out my crotch and make it look like I'm naked, and people literally think that I'm naked, but I'm really not.
Oh yeah. I really thought that.
Disclaimer,
You're
guys.
ballsy.
I'm never I'm never naked on that. But anyways, that's the thing, is it's a false, a false lifestyle. It's photos to make you believe. Pictures say 1,000 words. Video says, the same thing. Look, if you're going to do it in your own privacy. Stop trying to, bloat it out there and show everyone, oh, look at me, I'm such a good person. And you only posted one fucking video. You only post one fucking video of you helping out the homeless.
Yeah.
You only do one thing. You talk about it. That right there is disrespectful. Look, if you are on a politics side and you want to support or endorse or whichever political campaign, go for it. You have every fucking right to. It is your platform. It is your deal. And if you want to talk about it left and right, left and right, left and right, I don't care. That is your platform.
Agreed.
You can do what you want, but don't sit there and try to make yourself look better as a person, as a human being, trying to give money out to somebody that less fortunate of you, and then blast it on social media saying, oh, look what I did here. Fuck you, fuck every single person that does that.
I did like your voice when you said, oh, look at me. Because we all tend to do that when we're imitating someone else. Yeah, this guy, we make that voice. So that was kind of funny. But I agree. I get it. Yeah. You're going to be, if you're that type of person and you're a giving person and a kind person, you're doing it all the time. And eventually people will know you for your character. And that's just the type of person you are. And that will resonate within them once they meet you. And yeah, anyway, I get it. We're going to be positive here and we're going to get back to the fight. The question now is, just like with LeBron and Jordan, it's Khabib and Jones, the debate. People are it's going to go back and forth, back and forth. It's now, who is the GOAT? Our opinion, but I'm curious as to what our viewers and our listeners, and, I'd like to poll that. In all honesty, poll our listeners.
I would actually like that as well. I'll figure that out, how we're going to do that. But in all honesty, it's like, yeah, we're going to have the people that had the era of Jordan that's always going to stick by Jordan. And now we have the kids in the era of LeBron, and they're going to hang by LeBron. And it's like, you're stuck there. Now we have John Jones, who in the era, if you grew up in the era of John Jones, he was that dude was undisputed for the longest time, but his worst enemy was himself. And then Khabib just went 29-0 and took out all the top people, and he's undisputed. But he retired. And it's like, man, how do you, what do you put a label? And if you look at it, this is the only thing that I look at is Khabib changed the game. Just like Jordan, he changed the game. He implemented a new style to MMA and it literally changed everything about it. It changed how people fight. It changed how people look at and approach, their next competition. He literally switched everything around. He made wrestling and grappling a lot stronger and fighting where John Jones, don't get me wrong, John Jones doesn't grapple. John Jones just
More
strikes. And yeah,
strikes. Yes.
he took Gustafson down. He's taken some fighters down, but he doesn't predominantly go to the ground. He stands up, beats him with the range, and tries to knock him out, which is more power to him. So if we're going to put a title on it, would it be the GOAT of stand up and the GOAT of grappling?
I like that. I like that. But I liked Habib was striking. He was different. He was different. He was trying, he had nothing to prove because he knows who he is, but I feel he was a little more prepared and kind of focused more on maybe his striking because his ground game is just impeccable, uncomparable to anyone.
I was really amazed by his striking, and man, congratulations to him. I think it's awesome that he retired on top. Shout out to his manager, Ali Aladoziz. I don't know how to say his last name, but
We're gonna,
look, this guy has had. I mean, he's had champions. He has a huge platform of just winners. And the thing is that he's got these guys so much money that they can retire on top. You got Henry Cejudo that just retired. He's triple C. He's talking about coming back to get the fourth one, this, that, and the other. But he retired. He's retiring on top. He's enjoying his life. Now he has Khabib, who I don't know how factual this is, but I saw the salary report. They said he made 10 million last night, which is ridiculous. And he's retiring on top as one of the greatest to ever do it. And Ali is getting his fighters paid. So I'll give him a little shout out.
Absolutely. Props to both gentlemen. And people were saying, well, because they were asking Dana White, do you think he's going to be back? Or, and I know that there are emotions, obviously, after you win a huge fight and with everything that he's gone through. However, I will put money that he will not step foot back in the octagon. He's a man of his word. He promised his mother. So that's it. And I am so grateful that in my lifetime, I was able to, and now I'm going to watch I'm going to be studying more and more and more about him and his legacy. So anyway, chills again. We need to move on because we're like, okay, we're just going to stick to our game plan today, our time. And we just keep talking. But that's okay.
That's the best part about the podcast. Okay. But yeah, look, I sent you this message earlier or vice versa. We were in our group chat. Fucking Leon Edwards, man. What is going on with that?
I know. Last fight was back in July 2019. Okay. Because, of course, they did a little bit of homework on him. They removed his number 3 welterweight ranking because of inactivity. Right. And then people were calling him out on social media. So now he was set to fight Tyron Woodley in March. Because of COVID, that got back removed. And then Gilbert Burns. And then I guess he said he couldn't leave England. Now he's set to fight December 19th. And did you know who he's fighting, right?
Khamzat Chimaev.
Yes. So I feel Dana White really wants to push that guy. I feel he does. He is a beast. This guy will take any fight. He'll move up in weight classes. He's 3-0. He loves to fight. I mean, so we'll see, but it's from what from what I was reading and what Dana White is saying, I can see that he wants to push this guy. He went from 30,000 followers to 1 million followers and he's a beast. So I'm always excited for the fights, but I love the lead up to it. That, that makes it more exciting. So what are your thoughts?
This is the thing. Look, the Chimaev fight is awesome. And then they're pushing him because he has a sauce right now. And he's the guy that everyone's all hyped up about. And he's got the sauce. He's doing exactly what he needed to do in his first 3 fights. He's saying exactly what he needs to say. Dana wants to push him. Leon Edwards, on the other hand, has been on this long fight winning streak. And for them to pull him because he's been active since 2009 or inactive, which is kind of messed up because if you look at it, he was supposed to fight in March, but the pandemic happened. And then
Not
they're
his
trying to
fault.
get a fight, but they're not booking him with anybody that's going to give him any notoriety. And he believes that he's in line for the title fight. He's in line for, to be the contender or something bigger. Like it could be Jorge Masvidal, could be Kobe Covington. It could be, whoever has about Kamaru Usman. But he's like, dude, how many times do I have to keep winning? You're not giving me the opportunity. You're not giving me the title fight. And now we have somebody where he's like, look, I'll call out this guy that has all the hype and I have everything. If he takes him out, which it very well could possibly happen. If he takes out Chimaev, then this is going to put his hype meter back up at the top, and he's going to be the one that everybody wants to see. But at this point, we now know that rankings don't mean shit.
Yeah, because they can just pull your pull your rank or your ranking, and you're back kind of in the pool of just unranked guys, just a regular guy. So I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you know what I mean.
No, you're right. You're right. And they did
Yeah,
the same. They did the same thing with Ponzinibbio, Santiago Ponzinibbio. He's been on, I think he's on a 7-fight win streak. His last fight was Neil Magny in 2018, late 2018, early 2019. But he ends up knocking out Neil Magny, who's ranked in the top 10, and Ponzinibbio was 7. They pulled him from the rankings, and now he can't get a fight where he's going to be a ranked fighter. He has to fight all these unranked fighters. And he's like, dude, like, it makes no sense that these people, are stuck in a realm where, well, I was ranked. Now I have to fight someone that's not even in the top 15 and I have to re-earn my spot. And it's like, the numbers don't really mean anything anymore to me. Like the way I look at it is like, you just fight and fight. If they want to give you a number, give you a number. If they want to push you, they push you. And that's the thing with Chimaev. Chimaev's, he's fought 3 people. He fought Gerald Meerschaert, knocked him out. Impressive. Awesome. Gerald Meerschaert, unranked fighter. He fought John Phillips, finished John Phillips, and I don't think he even got hit. But John Phillips, unranked fighter on a losing streak, fought another guy in the UFC who no one really even knows who he is. And he was his first debut as well. And he beat that guy decisively quick. Didn't even get hit once, I don't think. Maybe twice, something like that. And he finishes the guy, but all of them are unranked. All of them are a different level. And when you start getting into the middleweight or the welterweight, like top 10, when you start getting to fighters that aren't going to cave and back down, that are more skilled and more, determined to actually battle and win. They have a purpose. They have a want. They know who they are. That right there is when you're going to have more intense, more, respectable fights. Like he's not going to do what Khabib has done to everybody. He's not going to do the same thing. Khabib is a different style of fighter. Khabib, he took time for him to get to where he's at now. 29 fights. This guy is 12-0, I think right now, 3-0 in the UFC, like you said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But the thing is with Chimaev, man, like he is good, but when you start getting to the bigger guys, when you start getting to the more talented, more, people that have been there a lot longer and the experience and the 5-round fights, that could change it.
Different element. Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're talking about he's fighting Leon Edwards. Again, Leon Edwards in a 5-round fight. Who's been in a 5-round fight before? Leon Edwards. Who hasn't? Chimaev. Who has Chimaev beaten? Well, he's beaten a lot of people outside the UFC, which I'm not saying that there aren't prospects in the outside the UFC.
Of course, but we don't see them. We don't know them. They're not ranked. They haven't made it yet, as far as I'm concerned. Until you make it to a Bellator UFC, bare knuckle, you haven't made it.
I mean, I can tell you this right now. Like I fought people in before the UFC that like they aren't nothing. And I don't want to say like they're not nothing. They're just not at the level that they should be. And that's the thing. They're not lower level people, but they're the people that help get me to where I'm at, but they're not like the type of people that you're going to be like, oh, this is a championship fight. I've knocked out people that have never been knocked out before. I've taken it to the distance with some of the toughest fighters there are. And the thing is that it doesn't say like, oh, you're the championship caliber. Yeah, you finish these people, you're doing stuff, but I can make the mistakes that I made in the fights and still get the victory. Whereas now, like, you make a mistake, it's going to cost you.
Yes, absolutely. And we will be looking. I can't wait for your fight the 14th. I'm so excited. And I found out somebody else is fighting on the 14th as well. I'm sure you already know.
Who? Islam Makhachev and Rafael Dos Anjos?
No, it's a friend, but we'll
Jeff
chat
Molina?
after. I don't want to say it because they might not want anything to be said yet. But I just found out from someone.
Oh, really? You got some inside scoop?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, for sure. But I let them because I'm not a jerk like that.
Is
But
it someone that I know?
yes, so I am going to be on pins and needles that night. Pins and needles. So thank you guys very much.
You know
Much
what's
love.
messed up, and honestly, they might be then main eventing it. Then that's probably what would happen, or
Oh,
co-main
well,
event.
we'll see. I'll let you know after.
But
But
this is the
okay.
thing too, is like what kind of bummed me out, man, is this past weekend talking about my fight. They kept jumping over my fight. Like I even tweeted out saying like, hey guys, like I fight November 14th. So does my teammate Jeff Molina. They are talking more about the 21st, and they're talking about the 7th, like those fight cards, but they're missing the 14th. It's like, damn, dude, like how are
You
you
know what?
gonna
They can't do that to you. You know why? You haven't, you've been out injured. And just like they tend to, not saying you're forgotten about, but it's like out of sight, out of mind. But when you come back on the 14th, they're going to be talking. Okay. It's all going to happen. And you're going to be all that they're talking about after. And we're getting those shirts and we're doing this.
let's
Sorry.
go. I am with it. I'm in it. I love it. I am.
Woo!
Let's just be
Feeling it.
honest.
Woo. All right.
Either way, fight talk.
But we didn't talk about the Whittaker fight. Can we talk about that real
Oh
quick?
man, I forgot about the Whittaker fight.
How could you not? Oh my gosh. Okay. So I was I'm discovering and learning. I mean, I know these guys exist, but to actually sit and study, I'm going to have to do it a lot more. And I'm 100% more committed now that some things have changed and personally, which is good. So I'm in it. Whittaker and Cannonier, amazing fight. I was super impressed. I mean, with both, the resilience and the ability for Cannonier to continue that nasty cut on his right eye. I mean, Cannonier kept trying to wear out his leg. And I mean, that leg looked pretty, trying to, I don't know how to say it, but, essentially trying to take him off his game. He kept wearing out the leg. But those combinations that Whittaker was throwing, he's so fast. That jab was just deadly. And then that head kick at the end, I think most guys would have gone down or been done. And at one point I thought they were going to call it, and he just kept going. And I was like, holy shit, like this guy he's tough. They're both tough. So kudos to, Whittaker. It was a great, great fight. And Cannonier, amazing.
Yeah, that was just an impressive matchup, man. I honestly thought that Cannonier was going to take that. He's been looking strong. He's been looking powerful. And, if you saw the evolution, he was heavyweight, then 205, then he's 85. And it's crazy. He's also like, he didn't have hair at heavyweight, and now he has hair at 85. He's like literally the best commercial ad for Hydroxycut and Just for Men. Like literally, if you want to like put a commercial ad, that he is the best person to use. But when he came out on that fight, it was unreal. The moment I was like, oh, dude, he's going to murder Whittaker, because he was taking out that lead leg. Whittaker was falling down. He was hitting right behind the kneecap. And I think that's what kept him alive a lot longer, even though it was super bruised, super red. You can see it.
Yeah.
And it probably was painful, but it didn't take the leg out and gave that drop toe, that one that we saw Sean O'Malley get hit with, that one that we saw, what's it called? Michael Chandler get hit with, or Jamie Werner get hit with, that one where it just lets the leg go limp. That's why it didn't happen, because he wasn't attacking the calf. He was attacking right behind the kneecap, which it did present damage, but Whittaker was able to still capitalize on his technique, capitalize on that quick hook, that jab, and beat up the eye of Jared Cannonier. And I think that it kind of, put a little bit of doubt in Cannonier's mind. and it got him fatigued a little bit more. And I can only imagine the mental monster it is to
Oh,
train out there in Fight Island and fight, from listening to all the fighters, even James Krause, talk about how just mentally exhausting it is to fight out there, and the time, and just how the sleep schedule, everything like that. It could have been different if it was in a different, area of the world, but man, Whittaker was throwing that beautiful outside step to backside rear head kick. And like you said, when Cannonier ate that,
oof.
I thought it was over.
Yeah. I mean, but he was still defending himself. So I'm like, oh, I hope he doesn't call it. But then a part of me was like, damn, like, it was a nasty cut. And he kept going. And I liked too, at the end of the third, towards the end of the third, that Cannonier, it's like he knew, he had to, it's like he rallied, he was trying for a knockout because he knew, like, that's the only way I'm going to win this. Unfortunately, obviously he didn't, but what a great fight, and Adesanya was thinking that he was going to be fighting Cannonier. And now, it's most likely it's going to be Whittaker, because that Whittaker lost the title to him. So I am excited to see that.
Yeah,
I don't
absolutely.
know.
Whittaker brought himself back up into the picture by defeating Darren Till. Close fight, I know, but he defeated Darren Till. He defeated Cannonier, and Israel Adesanya said that, like you said, he was expecting Cannonier to do, and he was expecting to fight Cannonier, and he was excited for that. But Whittaker's came back, bounced back, looked great, and on top of it, I listened to the post-fight interview. Dana White even said that's the fight to make, Whittaker and Adesanya too,
Yeah.
right there in one of the biggest stadiums in the world, over in Australia / New Zealand / the wherever the hell that is. What
I
is
know.
the down under, the Outback? There we go. Isn't
There
that
you
what it's
go.
called? The Outback.
The Outback, baby.
But yeah, I mean, it was an impressive fight. It was a great fight. There was a lot of great fights, and it just, we can keep talking about them over
No,
and over.
I know.
It's
Oh gosh. Oh gosh.
it's great. We're close. It's about
I
that
know.
time. I know you got stuff to go. Just
I
remember, ladies and
know.
gentlemen, join us on mybookie.ag to place your bets, to place your money, to win more money, and to get paid and possibly get laid with that money. It's all depending. Just get on mybookie.ag, use promo code Beauty and Beast, BEAUTYANDBEAST. And you guys have a fantastic night.
Thank you guys. I'll talk to you guys soon.